there, welcome to Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie. Thanks so much for clicking. To my returning subscribers, thank you for your continuous love and support. I truly appreciate it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy the video.
Hello everyone, and happy Canada Day. No matter where you are, July 1st is an opportunity for us all to celebrate the country we call home, the people we share it with, and the future we're building together. We can, and we should, take pride in all those things. After all, Canada is the envy of the world. People fleeing violence and persecution dream of a life here. Businesses open headquarters in our cities and manufacturing plants in our towns. And world leaders look to us for leadership in times of crisis. Wherever our flag flies, it's recognized as a symbol of democracy, of freedom, and of hope. It represents the values we all hold dear, and it is a promise of a country where newcomers are welcomed with open arms, where differences are celebrated and diversity is embraced, a country where you are free to be who you are and love whom you love, where everyone has a real and fair chance at success, and a country where we acknowledge historical wrongs and learn from the past in order to build a better future for everyone. My friends, Canada has withstood incredible challenges throughout our history. And we've always made it through by working hard together and staying true to our values. We did it when our grandparents stood up to fascism on the beaches of Normandy and across Europe. We're doing it now when we step up to help those affected by wildfires. And we do it every day when we take a stand against hatred and discrimination. We are from far and wide, but united, we are 40 million strong, and there is no challenge we cannot overcome together. So today, let's celebrate each other, and let's celebrate as we continue to build this great country, and let's continue to seize every opportunity we can to make this country even better for our children and our children's children. Happy Canada Day, everyone.
When does your country celebrate its birthday? Every country has a date that they recognize and celebrate the birth or creation of their country. Some of these dates mark the independence of a country. Others is just to acknowledge the creation. Canada is no different, and in fact, we celebrated on July 1st, which happened to be this past weekend. Canada celebrated the 156th birthday this year. Yes, 1867 was when Canada was formed. Every year, Canada celebrates in many different ways across the nation. But usually you will be sure to have Canadian music, Canadian food, barbecues, beer, and of course, fireworks. It is a great opportunity for families to come together and celebrate. There are lots of different activities happening across the nation, including reenactments of different historical moments, but also a time to reflect on Canadianisms. For example, did you know that the national animal of Canada is the beaver? Did you know that Canada has the longest coastline in the world? It reaches for 243,000 kilometers. It's pretty long and very impressive. Of course, some other fun facts about Canada is that we have our own language. I'm sure you've heard Canadians use A lot. EH with a question mark. For example, what are you doing for Canada Day, eh?
A, 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 A.
This is some of the slang. Other terminologies that Canadians are famous for? Of course. Instead of a backpack, we have a knapsack. For those men that enjoy the beer and have a beer belly, that's known as the Molson Muscle. And of course, we have to, don't forget, when we have our cold winters, we wear warm hats called toques. The toilet is referred to the washroom because, of course, in Canada, we're polite. And also, we always want to remember that we're some of the most polite people here in Canada, famous for our apologies. We say sorry to everything, inanimate objects, the wall, person, anything that we walk into. You'll notice Canadians always say sorry. We're also known to say please and thank you and be most polite.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
The one thing, though, over the last number of years, there's been some controversy about celebrating Canada Day. No, not just because of the pandemic. 3 years ago, there were some remains found at the residential schools. And if you look into the history of Canada, of course, you find some bitter history there. The colonizers came and took over from the Indigenous people, the First Nations people. They thought that it would be best for them to take away their children and put them in residential schools so they could raise them the proper way. Colonizers and the churches came together and stole these children from the Indigenous people. And then recently, when the graves of these children were found, of course, it brought back a lot of horrible tragedy feelings. And we are working together to try to comprehend the tragedies that occurred so many years ago. Every country has a history to it. And the trouble about Canadian history is that it was brushed under the carpet. Nobody really talked about the damage and treachery that colonizers had done here in Canada to all different cultures, not just the Indigenous people. But together, Canada is trying to come to terms and make sense of what had happened. And we are working towards reconciliation. Now, of course, like all countries that face colonization, this is something that's going to take hundreds of years to overcome because there is no explanation, no real understandable reason at all for the tragedies that had occurred. This year, Canada Day, the weather was great. The activities were definitely active. And of course, marked with an amazing fireworks display here that I could see from my balcony. It was wonderful, and I wanted to share it here with you today. Although Canada Day is controversial in some places, it is important for us to be proud of our countries. For today, we have had a lot occur over the next 3 years with the pandemic. But Canada has stood to be resilient, and I'm very proud to be Canadian today. Being proud of being Canadian is because we live in a diverse and accessible Canada. But it also is important for us to take time to reflect on the past tragedies and to make reconciliation a priority here in Canada. How did you celebrate your country's birthday this year? I really enjoy Canada Day because it marks the beginning of our summer, and here you'll see what a great way to kick it off. And until next time, please do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, take a second, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to like and share. I'm wishing you an incredible summer. And by the way, happy Canada Day, eh?